this could have been a human life.
What's up?
Just kind of intrigued about
Sure.
how the wording is and that is specifically.
Sure.
So, the main question is how are you comparing the two things to each other?
Well, because they're wrong for the same reason. They're both violent acts of aggression upon another person's body.
So then what is abortions that are taking place due to medical circumstances, meaning both the mother and the child don't survive at all, and it is in the betterment of both?
It's still an act of violent aggression. We still don't murder people because there's no medical condition that's cured by the death of a human being.
I would like to disagree with that one.
Can you name one?
So I worked military for 8 years of my life.
Sure.
Serve my country dutifully as to the best of my abilities. I do say that I'm a little bit more closer to Old Testament with how I think with some of these things.
Sure.
An eye for an eye. If a man kills my mom, I'm going to want that man dead. I would like to do it myself.
That vengeance is the Lord's, and the Lord has given the civil magistrate to be his deacon of vengeance.
Yeah.
So I get the feeling, though. I understand where you're coming from.
And so that's where I come with this, with like rape and abortion are wrong, but I don't believe abortion is as wrong, if that makes sense. There's still a part of me that you have to take into consider that yes, this could have been a human life. This could have been a human life.
Well, you said something kind of curious. You said it could be human life. So do you not consider the child in the womb to be alive from conception, or?
It depends on the progressivement of it.
What do you mean?
I'm very science-based with a lot of my thought process and thinking as well. This could have been a human life, and whenever a egg gets fertilized, it starts forming into different things. But certain things that some people say happen don't actually happen as soon as they happen. Because I've seen a lot of things like, after like a month, a heartbeat is found. The heart isn't even formed yet until closer to the later trimesters of that. But at that point, things like where the baby is atopic and it's attached to the hip wall instead of the actual uterine wall, those happen sometimes seconds after fertilization happens. So by saying that a human life is still just 4 cells that don't even know themselves is not necessarily a pregnancy to me.
Well, science would...
It's not a child pregnancy. I shouldn't say pregnancy. It's still a pregnancy.
Science disagrees with everything you just said. Biology disagrees with everything you just said. 96% of all the world's biologists say that life begins at fertilization, and the other 4% just didn't respond. And so when we say these things, you're making truth claims, right? Which means that you're presupposing the knowledge needed to make the truth claim. And so my question is just going to be, how does one crime, rape, justify another crime of murder? Because there is no point in human existence where you're not a human. You are human from the moment of fertilization, and there's no possibility of you being anything else. And if we're going to say we believe in human rights, then we either believe in them or we don't.
I believe in human rights, but I also do believe in the right of choice, because that should be a human right.
But we don't have the choice to make, we don't have the right to make the choice that robs life from somebody else without justification. And so if medical or crime or victim status is going to be our appeal, then we have to have a justification. Because right now it's called Hume's guillotine. Is ought fallacy. She is raped, therefore she ought murder. She ought abort. We have to bridge the gap. Otherwise we're a fallacy. We're fallacious. So we need the justification that says being raped now justifies you murdering somebody else who did nothing. The child didn't ask to be there. The child did nothing to be there. The child, in the case of medical, is not doing anything to actively or inactively put the mother's life in danger. She probably, which as is in most cases, has an underlying medical condition that is exacerbated by the biological process of pregnancy. So she's having a reaction to the pregnancy itself, not to the child. The child is doing nothing, and therefore we cannot justify taking the life because it's murder, and murder is the unjustified taking of human life with intent by another human being.
Though those words do state that, yes, I do also believe, and very strongly believe in this, that a woman should have the right to choose, and if she doesn't want to look at a kid who looks similar to a person who has been the worst problem in her life.
For example, if they feel like, oh, I just don't want the child because I don't like the dad. Example, if they feel like, oh, I just don't want the child because I don't like the dad. I think...
Sure.
Because no matter what you say, that woman or man, because
sure,
that can happen, but in this case, that woman will forever probably remember that man's face, and there is a likelihood of there's likelihood of about a 50-50, a coin toss, of that kid looking exactly like him.
Well, what if you do something to me that puts me in a similar emotional condition as this mother, right? Okay. Could I then go and just murder someone else who looks like you because of something you did to me?
I was more going to keep continuing on with this because
I'm just trying to draw your logic out to its conclusion.
Well, my conclusion wasn't onto another person. My conclusion was with specifically, and this is why I keep bringing up women. There's been a few cases where women who were raped and gotten pregnant from it had also killed their kids after birth because they looked too similar, and the PTSD of that day kept coming back to them every time they look at them. And then of course there's always that deep-seated hatred of, he looks like the man who took away my life.
Sure, but this is a crystal ball fallacy, right? We don't know that these things are going to happen, right? And again, I would ask you the same question. You know, I have PTSD, but that doesn't give me the right to go smoke every Middle Eastern 7-Eleven owner that I run into, right?
That's
just because they look like someone who did something to me or my friends. And so the analogy works that I'm giving you, because essentially what you're saying is someone else has done this violent crime to this woman. And now this woman, because this other person has done this violent act to her, she can now turn around and do a violent act to somebody else, to a third party who wasn't involved in the rape, who wasn't involved in any way in what happened to her. The child wasn't even there. And so for us to say, to special plead or to stand on the backs of rape victims and create murder victims is precisely why we see the ails that we see in our society today, with the total disregard for the value of human life. And now all it is might makes right. That's all it is. And because I'm stronger than you, I can do whatever I want to you. And that's what this worldview leads to, by saying, because I'm raped, I can now murder. Well, because you punched me in the face, I can murder her. That's the same logic. That's the same logic, which is why I'm out here pleading, especially with the men. I served in the military too. I was in the Marine Corps from 06 to 11. And we were told that people who rape and murder deserve to have the barrel of an M16 shoved in their face and the trigger squeezed. Because they were putting our people and their lives in danger, who had done nothing to them. And therefore it's justified to go to war to defend our people. But now the same people who went to protect theirs and the innocents there are now saying we can do this to the most vulnerable. Like, these are our countrymen. This is a fellow citizen that was murdered unjustly. because maybe the mother had a medical condition, but probably not, because 1%, less than 1% of all abortions take place because of rape, incest, or life of the mother. And so we are appealing to a minority to justify everything that we do. And so I don't think rape and medical are really the only exceptions that you have. I think that you're just okay with women having the right to choose. But no one, just like no one has the right to choose to rape, no one has the right to choose to murder.
With that, I don't really know how to counter-argument that. I'm going to have to go and head to my other classes.
That's fun. I appreciate your time. Thank you for having the conversation. What was your name?
George.
George? I'm Brian.
Brian.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I was also prior Marine as well.
Oh, Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
Yeah.
George.
Yeah.
Have a good rest of your day, buddy.
You as well.
I was gonna ask, where are you from?
Like, where do I live?
I mean, just, yeah, like this normally isn't
Well,
on campus.
I live just a town over.
Oh, you're from